Okay, so today you're going to be learning bay parking. Which one do you want to learn first?
What do you mean?
You can, on your driving test, when you go for your driving test, they're going to ask you to do a bay park. It's either driving left bay park, so you move forward, you drive into a bay on the left, or you move forward, you drive into a bay on the right. So currently at the moment, you're positioned to turn right into a bay from here. You also do a reverse left bay park, you do a reverse right bay park. Now, in terms of which one you'll be doing on your driving test, there won't be, it's like we don't know which one you're going to do. If you come into a car park like this, you're more than likely going to do a driving bay park. But if you're going to do a reverse bay park, you will do that in the test center. So when we go inside the test center, what happens is we'll sit there. So let's say your test is at 9 o'clock. At exactly 9 o'clock, you'll come outside, he'll call your name out. He'll say, okay, my name is Nigel or whatever his name is. And he'll say, can I see your license? He'll see your license. Then he'll say to you, do you want your instructor with you? That's me. So it's up to you if you want us in the car with you. Then he'll say to you, lead me out to your vehicle. So do you know, like when I did an eyesight check with you earlier on, he's going to do that with you again. So he'll do an eyesight check with you then. Once he's done an eyesight check with you, what he'll do then is he'll walk outside with you. Then he will tell you what maneuver you're doing on your driving test. So in your driving test, you'll be doing like one maneuver. So it might be a driving bay park. So it could be a left, it could be a right. Now that's, do you know, in terms of if it's a driving bay park, that's dictated by when you get to the place where you're going to do your driving bay park. So let's say, for example, you come into the car park and this side, the left hand side is busy. He'll say, okay, Fatima, I'd like you to do a driving bay park. You're only left with a driving right, so you do a driving right. Let's say there's spaces on the left and there's spaces on the right. Then you can choose. It's up to you which one you want to do. You can do driving left bay park. You can do driving right bay park. They don't mind which one you do, as long as you do one of them. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to ask you which one you want to do. So which one do you want to learn first?
The right one.
The right one first. Okay. So what's going to happen in terms of your do's and don'ts for your bay parking? First of all, you need to understand your do's and don'ts. The three key things you need to understand: control, accuracy, and observation. So control means that the car doesn't go too fast. You don't go onto the curb. You don't hit anything. That you car doesn't go too fast. You don't brake very very hard. So like you don't race the car. That's the first. That's control. Accuracy is that you achieve your objective, meaning you end up inside the bay. Now, when we say end up inside the bay, what we mean by that is you need to make sure that your car does not go over the lines as you go into the bay. He will say to you, okay, Fatima, I'd like you to do a driving bay park. I'd like you to imagine a car on either side of the bay you're going into. So they don't care which bay you go into, as long as you go into a bay and you don't go into another bay to go into your bay. So they don't mind which bay you go into, as long as you don't go into another bay to go into yours. That means you can't go into another bay and slide into your bay. Now, in terms of observations, they will tell you to imagine it's a busy car park. So they will bring you either where you are now, if you do your testing here, they'll bring you either here or they'll bring you to the left hand side of the car park there. Just over there, where we went in, where that man gave us way and let us come in. They'll do it over there. Now, when you're doing a bay park, you get about, usually around, let's say for the sake of argument, about a minute to do it. A minute, Fatima, is plenty of time to do a maneuver. A driving bay park usually takes us about 10 seconds, if not. Very easy to do. How do we do it? What you and I are going to do in a few moments is we're going to move forward and we're going to select a bay that we're going to work with. It doesn't matter what bay we're going to work with. So what we do is we look at the lines on the right of the car park. We line up one of them lines with our door mirror. That's to give us a reference point to start off with. Once we've lined that up, we're then going to signal right. Once we then signal right, we're going to look all the way around and make sure there's nobody coming. So make sure there's no cars coming towards you. Make sure there's no pedestrians coming towards your car. We're then going to slowly start driving into the bay, and we're going to do a full look to the right. We're going to make sure the right signal is on to make sure people know which way we're headed and which way we're going. Now, once our car enters the bay, once the car is straight with the lines, we're then going to straighten the front wheels. So then we do like one turn to the left, and that will fix you inside your bay. Then we go as far as we can forward into the bay, making sure that we don't overhang the bay so we don't hit the pavement, but the back of the car isn't left outside the bay. So we're inside the bay and we make sure we finish in there. Once you're satisfied and that you've moved forward enough that you're in your bay, you stop the car, you put the car into park or into neutral, whatever, pull up the handbrake, take your feet off the pedals and say you're finished. Now, if you're not finished, all you do is say, look, I'm just going to fix it, I'm not happy with it. You reverse back, forward, whatever you need to do, and you correct it. Do you understand that? Now, the easiest way to do that is to give yourself a larger turn circle. So you move your car to the left to turn into a bay on the right to give you a larger turn circle to go in. Turn circle, what we mean by that is, so it's a wider area for us to steer. Now, what I normally do is when I'm going into the bay, I look for something in the center of that bay. So I'll move forward, I'll line up with one of the lines, I'll stop there, then I will look for something in the center of that bay, and I'll use that as a reference with the center of my car. That way I know I'm in the middle of my bay. Once I'm happy with that, and once I'm at the end of my bay, I look in my left and right door mirrors to see if I can see the end of the line. If I can see the end of the line, I'm happy that I'm inside the bay and that my wheel is on the inside of that bay. So what you and I are going to do now is we're going to do one bay park together. I'm going to talk you through that one, and then what's going to happen is I'm going to try and let you do it on your own. And by the end of this lesson, you should be able to do driving bay park right on your own. Yeah, we're in agreement, yeah? So get the car ready, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to line up any of these lines on the right with your door mirror. So gently move forward until you've lined one up. So it should like finish inside the car. So slow the car down. Any line, doesn't matter which one. Now come to stop a second. Okay, now in terms of the lines that I'm referring to, now if you look to your right, you know one of these lines that are painted on the floor, it should finish in line with your door mirror. So it should finish and it should line up with your door mirror. Do you understand what I mean by that? Is it doing that now?
No.
Okay, then gently move forward until it is. Is it now? Okay. Now there's two ways to do this. Now we can either dry steer, meaning we can do a full lock now and move into the bay. And if you do that, it means you'll get too close to the line on the right as you go into the bay. It means you might even go over the line as you travel into the bay. So what I normally tell my pupils is to move slightly further forward. So move forward about maybe 12 inches, about a foot. There. And that compensates. So now that line should finish slightly further towards, it should be towards you rather than the door mirror now. So your door mirror should be maybe a foot after the line now. Are we in agreement there, yeah? Okay, now what I want you to do is I want you to look all the way around. So look over your left shoulder, end up looking over your right shoulder. And now I know there's nobody here, but I'd like you to signal right. I know there's nobody here. But it's what it is, it lets people know what your intention is. Now, you're not going to come off your brake fully, but you're going to let the car move forward at walking pace and then do a full look to the right. But you're going to look for something in the center of that bay to give you some sort of idea that your car will be straight. You're going to line that up with the middle of your car. So we could actually use that post at the end of the grass where that McDonald's red thing is on the floor. Can you see it in that bay? So in this bay next to you over here, there's that McDonald's red thing, or it looks like a paper packaging. We'll line that up with the middle of our car, because that looks like it's in the middle of that bay technically. Yeah, let's use it as an example. So look over your left shoulder again, then look over your right. And if it's safe, let's start moving and let's do a full lock to the right. So now do your full lock, but don't come off the brake fully. That's it. Keep your full lock on. Keep looking at that red thing on the floor, nothing else. Once that is centre, once it's straight with your car, then straighten your front wheels. I might have actually got that a little bit wrong. We'll see in a few seconds. Keep moving forward. Keep your lock on. I might have got that wrong actually. Let's move forward a little. No, move forward a bit more. A little bit more until it straightens up. Now look at the lines. They should be straight with your car. So gently move forward a little bit more, Fatima. A little bit more. There. Now straighten your front wheel. So do one turn to the left as you move forward. Yeah, don't worry about that noise. That's fine. Now come to a stop a second. I want you to press this P button here, and that turns on the audio of the front parking sensors. So if there's any grass or anything, it'll make a beeping noise. Gently move forward. Let's see where we've ended up. Move forward a little bit more. A little bit more. Now come to a stop. Now can you remember when we get to T-junctions or crossroads, we make sure the door mirror doesn't go over the line to make sure we're in the bay. Yep. Okay, so make sure the door mirror doesn't go over. Don't worry, it's okay. That's just the grass. And if you look there, the forward parking sensor trips when the grass moves. So what we're going to do now is, do me a favor, open the doors. Look for the unlock switch. There. Okay, so what I want you to do in a second is what we're going to do is we're going to move forward in a second. And we're going to make sure the door mirror doesn't go over the end of the curb, but it gets close to that. And that will give you an idea of how close you are in your bay. So now very, very gently move forward, Fatima, but don't come off the brake fully. A little bit more, a little bit more. And that's lovely. Now go into park, apply your handbrake. And now, before you finish, before you tell me you finish, now you need to satisfy yourself that you are in your bay. So what I tend to do is I open my door. So open your door and make sure the line is not touching your wheels. So look at your back wheel. So just look over your right shoulder, look outside, make sure the car's not touching the back wheel. Just have a look. Take your belt off if you need to. No big deal. Is it clear? Okay. And then close your door. And once you've done that, all you do then, Fatima, you say, look, I finished. And then that way, what I do then is I go outside the car and I'll have a look to see if you're, to see if you've, see where you are. I'm trying to work out how to disconnect this bloody thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to have a look. The first bay park. So here, guys, what we've got here is Fatima's first bay park. Now you'll see there, she's not aligned. Doesn't matter if it's not perfectly aligned. It doesn't have to be perfect as long as you're not touching the lines. That's my cloth. I'll be picking up. But what we've also got is the back of the car is inside the bay. It's very important that you realise that we're inside the bay. And the front of the car is just at the end of the bay there. So that is perfect parking. That's her first bay park she's done. It's her fifth lesson. And we can see there, we can see somebody doing a bay parking there. And the philosophy is exactly the same. And you'll see that they're very close to the lines. As long as you don't touch the lines, you're completely fine. So what we've done there, we've done our first bay park. Okay, so you've done your first bay park there. What we need to do now, we need to do another one. Now, before we do one, so once you've gone into your bay and you're happy that you've done it, what they're going to ask you then is, sorry, what's going to happen then? He's going to get out of the car like I did. He's going to walk around the car. He's going to make sure that you are inside your bay. Now, because you've said you've finished, he's satisfied that you've completed the maneuver. He's then going to go outside and mark your maneuver. So you'll have a look, make sure you're inside your bay, and you are. He's now going to ask you, okay, Fatima, I'd like you to reverse out. Imagine a car on either side of you. That means what you need to do is you need to reverse back in a straight line until your door mirror is almost at the end of that white line, and then do a full look into the direction you want to send the car. So if you want the back of the car to go to the left, you need to do a full look to the left. If you want the back of the car to go to the right, you want to reverse back and then do a full look to right. And what we want to do is we want to do a full look to the right because we want to do another bay park over here. Okay, so go into reverse, but remember not to fully come off your brake. So very gently start reversing. Now, which way is the car going backwards? You need to look around everywhere. Make sure it's safe. Continuously look around while you're driving. A little bit more. And stop about here. Now do a full look to the right and continue reversing. Full look and move very, very slowly. Full look. Stay all the way to the right. That's what we call full look, okay? And stop for a second. Now go into drive and do a full look to the left as you move forward to help you straighten up. You do a full look and keep looking to the left. Look at that drain. Full look. That's it. We're over here, so it's no big deal. There's nobody, only you and I. That's it. Now what I want you to do is I want you to reverse back. So come to a gentle stop. Now reverse to the left. So we're going to come away from the bay. So stay to the left. A little bit more. Hold your steering there. Let the car reverse backwards to the left. So what we're going to do now is we're going to straighten the car. So continue reversing. And I'll stop a second. So the whole car park is free. And he just comes into the car park. The whole of this car park is empty. And now we're going to revert, we're going to stay to the right and go backwards. That's it, as you go backwards. Come back a little bit more. There. Now straighten your front wheels. Do one turn to the left. There. Come back a little bit more. A little bit more, Fatima. There. That's lovely. Come to into park, camera, come. Okay. Do you want to try doing one on your own? Yeah? Okay. Get yourself ready. Move off. And I'll help you if you need help. Other than that, I'll let you do it on your own. But remember to signal, okay? It's very important that you signal so people know what you're doing, okay? Mm-hmm. Have you lined your door mirror up? Okay, get your first reference fixed. Doesn't matter if you work on the bay after, no big deal.